We're going to go to the phone lines and welcome in a guy that hops on with us every Wednesday. That is Brett Goode of Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions, former Razorback, former Packer. A lot of NFL news that's been breaking the last week or so, Brett. And let's start with the biggest one, the Deshaun Watson signing with the Cleveland Browns. What do you think about the Haslam's decision to go after Watson, a guy that for his accolades on the field, they speak for themselves? How is that going to change the dynamic of that division?
Well, it's going to be an interesting, decision that they've made because, one, we know what happened last year with Baker Mayfield and Odell and everything that went down. But if you really break it down to statistics, Deshaun's only in his career has only had 2 more wins than Baker and only 400 more passing yards. And so is he really worth the headache of everything that he brings along with him right now? We'll see. But and Baker, let's not forget, he brought the Browns out of the dumpsters and actually got them their first playoff win. So he's got a lot on his shoulders and a lot of pressure because he's got to come out there and produce for $230 million and see what happens.
Brett, on that note, if you're Baker Mayfield, who's already come out and said that he wants to be traded, what do you do? I know in life you face competition, especially in the workforce, and you want to try and beat someone out that may be competing against you. In your opinion, a guy that's kind of gone through this process, what should Baker's next step be?
Well, that's a tough one, too, because, he wanted to go to Indianapolis, then Matt Ryan goes there, and there's going to be some teams that pick some quarterbacks up to the draft. Jimmy Garoppolo's having the same problem. Does he stay? There's just not a lot of big market out there for both of those quarterbacks right now, and really he may have to sit a year. Whether it be a backup in Cleveland or a backup somewhere else, somebody will pick him up if Cleveland decides to cut him, but, they're going to be paying a bunch of money to quarterbacks and trying to figure out what's going on. So he's got a tough road ahead of him, and he'll get another opportunity, just a matter of when and where.
What was your take when you saw the news that your former team and the Green Bay Packers was parting ways with Davante Adams, and he's going to reunite with Derek Carr out in Las Vegas with the Raiders? What was your first takeaways from that move by Green Bay?
Well, the first one, you're like, well, what's going on? And then you really dig deep into it and realize, obviously I knew that he's going to play with his college buddy in Carr. He built a house out there, and he just wanted to change the scenery, and he was ready to move. And the thing that was good about Green Bay is they got a lot of picks for him. They got some cap room that they desperately needed going into this draft, and they were able to sign a couple of other guys in free agency. So I think it's good on both sides. We saw with Greg Jennings back in the day. Greg took a bunch of money and went to Minnesota, and then he bounced around to Miami and just didn't perform at as high of a level. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does out there. He's got a lot of talent around him, so he should be able to produce, but can they get the ball around to all the different guys and keep everybody happy? It's going to be the question.
Another one of the big quarterback moves this week was Matt Ryan going to the Indianapolis Colts. Your thoughts on that move out of Atlanta? Can he kind of follow that roadmap that Tom Brady and some others at leaving a franchise had been with a long time? Matt Stafford would be another one, and find the success and get back to a Super Bowl in Indianapolis?
He's got a really good chance. Of anybody that's made a move this year, he's probably got the best chance because, they've got a great running game. They've got a great defense. And so all he's got to go in there and just kind of be himself. Doesn't have to do a whole lot, and he'll come down to some games, and he's got to perform. But, remember back in the day when he was Matty Ice and they had a good running game, and he was able to do a bunch of things. Everybody was all about him. He was, he was going to set the records for everything, Hall of Fame this, Hall of Fame that. And so he's definitely a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he really needs to win that Super Bowl. A lot like Matt Stafford did, and to really solidify his career.
Brett Goode with us now here on the Morning Rush. Brett, with all these changes that have occurred, Rodgers re-signing with the Pack, Brady coming out of retirement, Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos, the quarterback moves that we just mentioned, has your opinion changed on who the main Super Bowl competitors are for this next season, or are you still thinking it's going to be a select handful of teams that have a shot?
I think it's a select handful, especially one from the NFC. You really, Matt Ryan leaving now. You've got Aaron, and you got Tom Brady, and you got Matthew Stafford out in L.A. And so then you look at how stacked the AFC is with Russell Wilson's move, Matt Stafford's move, and plus all the other quarterbacks that are there. Thinking of Buffalo and Kansas City, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be great games this year. That's what the NFL continues to produce. So it's going to be a good football season. I think a lot of people are ready to get it going. And so we'll see what happens in the draft and kind of as we progress and see really kind of who comes out ahead as soon as we start the season.
we're getting closer to the NFL draft, and this is kind of taking a back burner because of the Arkansas basketball team. But I know there's going to be a lot of questions on where Treylon Burks ends up in this upcoming NFL draft. Between now and then, is there anything that he specifically needs to do? I know the combines happen, pro days happen. Is there anything that he can do between now and the NFL draft to elevate his stock?
I think the only thing he can do is hurt himself, so you don't get in trouble. Just stay out of the bad publicity, bad press. He's done everything. He's shown what he can do on the field. Like you said, pro day, combine, everything was good. So he's just got to continue to work. He's going to have some interviews along the way as we get closer, and just really keep his head down and grind like he's been doing, and everything will work out for him.
Now, my man Ty is out in San Francisco. I'm sure you made a few trips in your playing days to San Fran to take on the 49ers. Any suggestions, any places he needs to be sure and check out while he's in San Francisco? I know you made a few business trips. He claims he's on a business trip out there. What should be on his agenda while he's in the Bay Area?
That's a tough one because I think his business trip's a little bit different than ours. I had to go out to eat, and then I had to go back to the hotel. So he's probably going to get to do a lot more than we did. We just take a walk, everywhere. That's the great thing about there, the air and the sunshine, and it's not too hot. It's just great weather, and so we enjoyed it. There was this little, right along the little bay there was a Mexican restaurant. I don't even know if it's still there. We used to go there all the time, every time we went out there. So it's a good place to be. You go down to the wharf down there, and obviously you get to see a lot of things you don't get to see in Arkansas.
How's your bracket doing? Is it like ours, incinerated?
I hadn't even really looked at it after that first weekend. It's been terrible.
All right. Brett Goode, he's with Henderson Phillips. If you need help with employee benefits, benefits and wellness benefits solutions, they can help you with that. Staffing and talent management solutions. Brett even helped for the human resource staffs that has to administrate and do all of this. Y'all are a resource and there for companies that you work with, administrating and taking care of the logistics of the health benefits and the employee benefits.
That's right. That's one of the things that we offer that a lot of people don't is we can come in and do some HR consulting and help out anything we need to do. We've got a ton of years of background experience in that within the company, and then really just taking the benefit side and getting the game plan ready for your company and trying to do the best approach to attract and retain your employees.
Even compliance is one thing you do. I mean, it's so hard to stay up with. It's more than just hanging the poster in the break room these days to stay on top of all the compliance that's required.
It definitely is, and you want to stay on top of that because that's something that you don't want to get in trouble for.
Absolutely. 651-2292, a resource for many things, including employee benefits, plus your property and casualty insurance as well. 651-2292. Brett, that's your number with Henderson Phillips. Enjoy the games tomorrow, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right.
It's that time of year as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your updated odds and info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest, where you can have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline, where the game starts.